Cool. I'm going to stick around and talk during this call. All right, gang. Happy Tuesday. I know the group is growing. Is there anybody new on this call? Anybody hiding their face? I like seeing people's faces. Got a couple pages of people too, so it's hard for me to keep up. But if you are new, you can put me in the chat. If you don't want to show your face this morning, that's okay. So this is our nutrition talk. You guys are here to learn some stuff about some stuff. Oh, are you waving at me? Oh no. Hi. Someone's excited this morning. Is it because it's so cool down in Georgia? I'm just kidding. We're going to learn some things about some things so you can apply some things to your day-to-day so you can get a little bit closer to the place you want to be in life. A little bit application style call. This is more of a real talk. We get into some real life shit versus just educating you on the what and the why. But, you know, anecdotally, we're going to kind of dissect some things that you may have gone through or felt and analyze that. And this is a really good chat because, you know, around this time during the challenge, maybe you hit it last week or the week before, or, you know, maybe this is your third or fourth challenge with us and you've been sticking around for a while because you are seeing results. But we're going to talk about this thing called hitting a plateau, right? And Katie and Eric and I are going to deep dive into this a little bit. So what do you guys think I mean when I say hit a plateau when it comes to your journey?
Scale's not moving.
The scale's not moving. Anything else we can plateau in? Just weight loss, huh?
I feel like it can be your mindset too.
Yeah. You know, we get stale in our thoughts, revert back to old habits. Anyone ever
get that way sometimes.
Oh, hold on. Go. One more time. We had double people talking. Go for it.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not in my running or in certain ones of my weightlifting, like certain pieces of it. Some of it I'm making progress and some of it is staying exactly where it is. And I just feel like I'm kind of in a stopping point, and so we're trying to change things up. My trainer will go back to those same exercises and I'm still not increasing, or my time will be better one day and worse the next. And yeah, I absolutely get plateaus.
Sure. Yeah. So physical plateaus in the gym. Anybody else ever hit a plateau in the gym, or you just kind of feel like you're stuck? Kelly, what were you going to say?
Sometimes I get that way in my diet.
Yeah.
Like I feel kind of bored and I just eat the same things, but it's easy. So then I don't know if that's really like a plateau, but that's kind of how I look at it. Oh,
sure.
that's
I mean, like it gets stale, you know, you're not really challenging yourself as much. We'll get into all of those things. But if anyone's ever hit a plateau, can you either drop me in the chat or throw your hand up in the air so everybody else sees it? Got a couple hands up. Got a lot of hands up. Well, I want to say congratulations. Congratulations for hitting a plateau. Why do you think I'm congratulating you? Why is that? Why is the scale not moving? Your progress in the gym not moving forward? Your mindset. Why is that? Why is that something I would congratulate you on?
Have more to learn, I guess.
Okay. I like where you're going with that.
Because you've actually been doing the work and now you're stuck.
Because you've been doing the work. And then it's time to make a change. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Part of the process and more growing to be done. That's right. If you didn't make any progress, would you be complaining about the lack in progress? Or would you just be like, this is where I'm at? You see where I'm getting? The fact that you can recognize that you're not seeing the changes after seeing so many changes is a testament to your ability to understand that you want to work harder, that it's time to level up. It's time to challenge you some more. Okay. We're really going to center this call on the nutritional side of things when it comes to plateauing. And I want to pick your brains to see why you think it happens. And then we'll break down if it's actually time to make a change. So why do we think we hit a plateau when it comes to weight loss or fat burning? You know, what are some factors in that?
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Kaylee? I heard something coming up that green box. Can't see your face though. Nobody knows why the scale stops moving. Be a number of different reasons. There's no wrong answer here.
Adaptation.
Fry. Oh, so we got two people going. Fry, why don't you go first?
Adaptation. Our body has adapted to the changes that we've made, and now new changes have to be made because our body has adapted to what we're giving it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it, right? If you start off and we make some changes, your body will acclimate, adapt to what it is that you're doing, and then we'll probably have to make some more changes to see continued results. This is a never-ending process. But we're going to look at a few things before we make some changes, right? So one of the main things that we look at is what type of macronutrients you are eating day in and day out, right? So before I'll change or take away anybody's calories, because nobody wants me to do that, or add calories, because a lot of people are scared about that. We're going to look at a few things, the basics, okay? Are we hitting our protein? That could be a yes or no answer right there. Every day. Sorry, I should have added that. Are we hitting our protein every day? Are we eating 25 to 30 grams of protein every meal throughout the day? Are we getting that protein in through meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, or supplements in 25 to 30 gram servings every 2 to 4 hours every day? Right? There's room for improvement. So I want you to take a second and type in the chat box, like where you would grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on hitting your protein every single day in 25 to 30 gram serving, having meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, or supplements, or if you're Kelly, other vegan proteins, or in every 2 to 4 hours, every single day for the last 6 weeks. 7 out of 10, 7-ish, 7.5, okay, 7.5 for Brittany, 7.77, 6 or 7. Okay. So this is number one, right? Before we make any changes on taking away other foods, if that's not 9.5 or higher out of 10, Eric, Katie, Justin, and I want to make sure that you're getting in 25 to 30 grams of protein every 2 to 4 hours in a protein style food as its main source to reach 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight or more every single day. 9.5 Katie, yeah, I believe it. Solid right now. Okay. The reason why is because this is what is going to dictate where your body is going, right? How your body will look, not how much you will weigh, right? Not what size you will be, but the amount of muscle that we have to get to where we want to go. Maria, did you put a number down there? Oh, I was looking for like a 10. Come on, grade yourself. You're a harsh grader on yourself. Don't put anything. I'm just teasing. You don't have to. Hey, here we go. Take that. So look, this is a moment where you get frustrated, right? If anybody like stays the same on the scale, who stayed the same on the scale 1 week or went up 1 week and then went down the next week? Okay. That's not what we're calling a plateau. What we're going to consider a plateau is 2 or more weeks a row when you're staying stagnant. And we're really going to deep dive into this first. Like, how can we get this to be closer to a 10? Being at a 10 is like very hard. It's very hard for me too. I would even throw in that like 30% of that food should then be supplements max. Should get most of your food in through whole foods. Okay. So the reason, do you guys have any questions on this? Katie, Eric, you got anything you want to add on protein intake when it comes to plateaus?
Well, just kind of like how you were saying, it's one of those things where, like, hey, it's not working. What can we take away? And that's the last thing. Cause like, we've all probably been there. I mean, I know it's happened to me before, like trying to eat only like 1,500 calories, 1,200 calories. And where's that got you? Nowhere.
Yeah.
It's enough food for, a little kid. So,
right. I mean, we definitely, that's where like the old mindset would be like, oh, I have to eat less to lose more. But, you look at, I'll give you Charles as an example. He was cutting and I was like, we're going to add some food. And we added some carbs for a couple of weeks and he started losing some more weight. And now I wanted to get leaner. So now we're going to play around with nutrient timing and we'll get to that in a little bit. But the idea is like, and Katie's a great example too. Before she went on this like super cut and she started eating more and more food. And she's like, I'm not putting on any weight, but she was getting leaner and stronger, which was awesome to see. Eric's done it too, where he's eating more food. I just know that from like talking with him leading to a competition, and he's just, your muscles look so much more developed and well-rounded and tight. And it's awesome to see that happen. Claudia too. Claudia and I have been working together and she's like, wait, I have to eat more food. And I was like, yeah, you want to get stronger, right? And she's like, the scale is going up a little bit, sure. But like her photos are night and day different. So plateaus happen in different ways for different people. But it really comes down to the consistency in the protein game. And that's why I wanted to bring that up first, because a lot of people are looking for like, well, there's got to be some magic trick that happens here. The truth is, it's not really complicated. It's actually very simple. And it comes down to the amount of protein you have, where you get it from, and how often you have it throughout the day. Okay. If that is in order, then we'll start to look at the other foods, right? There should be some consistency in your carbs and fats. Yes, we want to be able to flex them day in and day out to make it a lifestyle. However, for the most part, it comes down to the type of foods that you're eating too. What type of carbs are you having before and after your training? What type of fats are you getting as your main source of energy? Lisa, did you have something to say? I'm sorry, I saw you unmute yourself for a second and I started rolling.
Oh, you're good. I just had a question earlier this week. I had like 2 protein shakes. One of them was like 3 scoops and then the other was 2. And I mean, yeah, that's a lot of protein. That is 75 grams of protein just in those 2 shakes. But I was thinking to myself, in a nutritional sense, this can't exactly be a good thing, and
okay, let me
that particular day.
Let me ask you a
go ahead.
question. Let me ask you a question. Why is that not a good thing in your mind?
Because it's not like whole foods, like you were saying. I don't
Okay.
know. That was just something that I was wondering.
So if you're comparing supplements to whole foods, the type of supplement matters. Okay. Not all supplements are created equal, just like not all food is created equal. McDonald's sells meat, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at? So the type of supplement that you're taking is important, like where it's created, what nutrients are in it. And the question I would ask yourself, if you've been there before, because I've been there before, where it's like, shit, I'm short on protein. I got to slam 3 or 4 scoops of protein to get in my protein at the end of the day. If it's not happening all the time, it's not going to be a big deal, right? We can't look at this as like moment to moment meals. It's like long run, like how consistent are we being over time to get in whole food nutrition, right? Nutrient dense food. So if it's 1 or 2 days in a row, maybe we have to look at, well, when can I make time to go to the grocery store? What is going to be on that shopping list? When am I going to prep that food? How am I going to eat that food? And what else do I need around that food to make it a full meal? See what I'm saying? So the idea is like,
Yeah.
I've been there. Katie's been there. Eric's been there. But we need to make a pivot in our schedule to organize our day so we can assure ourselves that we're getting in whole food consistently week to week. But your body doesn't know the difference between a scoop of Formula One and a piece of chicken breast. Your
course,
brain
yeah,
does. Your brain does because you read what they were once on the internet or someone told you about it, chicken and protein. But your body's going to recognize that as a macronutrient to build lean muscle, among other things. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
The reason why we want you
Yeah.
guys to lean on whole foods first is because there are other nutrients within whole foods that are going to benefit you on a cellular level. Okay. Energy, satiation, helping your immune system, cognitive function. That's why we want you to have whole foods. But supplements are not bad, right? It isn't good versus bad. It's a tool in the toolbox to fill a gap. So if you weren't able to eat a whole food at that time, I'll allow it. Now, if that, I've had a client, I don't think she's on the call, who started off with me and it was protein in every single meal. And she had a little bit of yogurt in the middle of the day. And I was like, well, I see what we can change here. We can go to the grocery store, right? We can eat something that it does not come out of a tub or a container. Energy went up, focus went up, workouts got better. Still had her protein after a workout and at night before and then her coffee in the morning. So she went down from like 6 scoops to 3 scoops, which is half, and added whole food, and things started to move in the right direction. So it's all relative to where you're at and making that work for you. Okay. So if we are hitting our protein every single day, if we are getting it in the right quantities, the right times, from the right sources, then we're going to look at carbs and fats. And this is really dependent on what your goals are, depending on what you have been doing for a while. Like, remember, our goal is to help you at first, when you're working with us, set your metabolism up to be as functional as possible. So it can utilize the energy that you're eating. So you can burn fat and build muscle at a couple weeks down the line. If you're still under eating, right, and your energy is low, that's going to tell us that, well, maybe we need to eat some more food. If you're very full throughout the day and you're feeling bloated and you have stomach issues, we'll look at the types of foods that we're eating, or we might take away food. Now, your advisor is going to be able to better suit you on what's, we're going to take away, because there is no one size fits all process to this. And that's why working with us one-on-one helps, because we see what you're eating and we know what you like. We know what your goals are. We know how you work out, and we're going to be able to make some changes. Typically what we're going to do is, if you're trying to lose some weight, we'll take away a little bit, but we're not going to take away too much, or we'll add a little bit and take away from another macronutrient to get you the right type of foods in for what the training is that you're doing. What questions do you guys have on that? Pretty straightforward. So I want to open it up to questions on plateaus in general. Like, let's hear about you guys. You guys all said that you might have hit a plateau before. What did you do to change it? Because I think you sharing your experience and your story is going to give someone a chance to say, like, oh, I've been in those shoes. I know what that feels like. Nobody's hit a plateau. All right. You can change the topic.
I actually did, but it was in the opposite direction. So I really don't like to say too much about this, but I couldn't gain. I know it's not like a lot of people's.
Well, sure,
issues.
it's not a lot of people's. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's not a lot of people's issue, but I've worked with several men who have trouble putting on weight.
Yeah. I wasn't eating a lot of food though, and I was surprised. You need your scissors? I'm sorry, here you go. I couldn't, I couldn't get it together myself. So I was trying to eat and it just wasn't working. So, but once I actually started eating real food and paying attention to what I eat and when I ate it, then I was able to do it. So
Yeah.
but
So
it's
I think
opposite of what most people do. So
absolutely making small incremental changes week to week is going to be key here. I'm sure Kelly didn't go from eating X calories to times 5 overnight. You know, the people that I work with who are trying to gain weight, you know, it's just as challenging, even more challenging, I would say at points, because they're not used to eating that much. They have, you know, a very efficient metabolism. And what we want to do is not slow down the metabolism, but get them to eat the right types of foods throughout the day. Anybody else like to share a moment where they hit a plateau? How'd that make you feel when the scale didn't move for a couple of weeks?
I can share. I'm actually in that right now.
Okay.
And it's really messing with me mentally. So we're working on it. But what Katie and I talked about was 75 hard. Like I thrived when I did it because I had these goals. Like I had to go do my walks, and I haven't been doing my walks because I thought, well, I'm going to the gym and I'm on the treadmill and I'm working out for an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. So I'm doing the same thing, but in reality, my body really loves the extra 45-minute walk with my weighted vest because I'm stopped, like nothing is moving. So I'm just having to increase the intensity and workouts, which I was like, man, how much harder do I have to work out? But I mean, my body, I guess, just really loves it. So that's where we are this week. I'm including the extra 45-minute 2-3 mile walk to hopefully move along.
I love it. I love that's where we were going, because that's where I was going next. And Brittany, I see you. Give me 1 second. If we hit the protein, right, and the calorie amount is right where your advisor wants it to be, there are 2 ways to change your body composition, right? Or the mass that you have, or the size that you have, or burn fat. One is going to be take away or add calories, and the other is going to be more or less movement. And I like that's where Callie's head was at. I agree. I'm on the same page. I haven't had the time or made the time to walk, right? But I have put myself on the bike for 30 minutes every morning while reading, you know, holding like a 2-minute pace for 30 minutes. I'm sweating like crazy because it's 80 degrees out and by 6 a.m. now. And I don't have AC in my house. Don't ask me why. I just don't have it yet. So yeah, I know that look. Trust me. I feel every drop of sweat rolling down my back. We can move more, right? Because weight loss, weight gain is calories in versus calories out. It's not a secret. So if I'm going to eat the same amount of calories and I want to move in a direction, we'll say down for this example, I'm probably going to have to burn a couple more calories throughout my day. So going on a walk, a bike ride, doing low intensity, steady state cardio, I like 30 to 45 minutes at a conversational pace where you're sweating afterwards, but you're not beat up. It's going to put your body in a position to move past that adaptation that we spoke about earlier, to see some change and move in a direction that's going to make us happy. Right, Claudia? Walking? Even if it's at 5 a.m.? Which leads me to, like, I joke about it with her because, you know, she's not a morning person, and that's fine. Not everybody has to be. But if you guys want to see some changes, you don't have to do it forever, right? Callie just said that when she was doing 75 hard, she was on it. And tell me, Callie, when you stopped doing 75 hard, it just instantly got harder to fit that into your schedule, didn't it?
Yeah, it's weird how that works. It's like, today has got away from me. You prioritize what you want, and that's what I'm working on. Like, this is going to be just as important now as it was when I had to do the daily tasks. So I'm not going to have to do it anymore. I'm going to do it.
That's right. You get to do it. Definitely see it. Brittany hopped off. Damn. Okay. So really what it comes down to with plateaus, I mean, we'll keep it really simple today, guys. This is, if we want to see changes, and we've been doing this for a while, who said it earlier? Just getting bored and stale with your nutrition, right? Getting bored and stale with your workouts, getting bored and stale with your thought process. This constant battle to do the simple things is the most challenging long-term. So it's been 6 weeks. We got 2 weeks left. That's why in my email, I was like, hey, this is a 14-day challenge. How much easier does a 14-day challenge sound mentally to sharpen up versus, hey, this is week 7 of 8 and week 8 of 8. Mentally check yourself by saying, oh, today's day 1 of 14 versus today's week 7 of 8. The longer challenge gets you drained and tired just by thinking about how long you've done this. But if you're like, I only have to do this for 14 more days, which is not the case, right? But it's like, hey, I want to push as hard as I can for 14 days. And I'll check it with my advisor, reset and set a new goal. It's a lot easier to get excited, give more effort, and stick to the little things and reset yourself. I needed it just the same. I had so much change during this challenge that it was very hard for me to build confidence because my schedule shifted so much that all I had to do, and I was telling Katie about it, like I read a post that she put up and it fired me up to set the tone for a goal that I had a month from now. I was like, I have 1 month to really get my shit together. And the way, you know how I got my shit together? I started with the basics. I reset my numbers, okay, to my baseline. I planned out my day. I micromanaged the shit out of my day, to be honest. I plugged in my meals on my calendar, what the macros were going to be for those meals, copy and pasted them to every single day. So I got a reminder notification about it. I cut out 30 minutes for me to ride the bike in the morning and 45 minutes for me to do some sort of strength and conditioning in the afternoon. And then I plugged in the rest of my day. So if you can get your protein where it needs to be, and you're hitting your carbs and your fats, and you don't have to make an adjustment because your advisor thinks you're in the right spot, getting in those extra 30 to 45 minutes of low intensity, steady state cardio is going to be our number one after protein. And then we can look at cutting calories. Then we can look at adding calories. It's really based on who you are, where you're going. Because the idea is that, or the thought is, I really like that you guys put your hand up in the air saying like, I've hit a plateau, because it doesn't feel good not to see change. But you should feel good on recognizing that you are not seeing the changes that you saw initially, because that means you made so much progress that you want it, and you want to see more, that it not happening week after week the same way is frustrating you. And if it is frustrating you, the idea is that we can make a couple little changes with the basics to continue to see results. There's no crazy formula here for you to have to like drive yourself crazy doing. So I'll keep it real simple and leave it with that. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys were clear that plateaus are normal. They will happen from time to time. And we can go back to basics often and see, while we look at our information inside the app and what we've tracked and logged, where we can make some changes. Eric, Katie, you guys have anything you want to add on plateauing or adjustments after plateauing or mindset on plateauing?
I will say, just to reiterate something that Kevin said, guys, and he said it a few different times when it comes to adding movement. You know, it's not adding in like this whole other intense style workout, because if we're adding in a whole nother style intense workout in a day, that's restructuring our food greatly. What Kevin's talking about, that's super. And I don't think him or I or Katie could stress enough, like the easy state of cardio that we're talking about. Like, you should be able to talk like we're talking right now while you're doing it. That would be your fat burning zone there. So when he's talking about that easy walk, that easy bike, it's not like, hey, I'm going to get done with this and my legs are burning and I got my hands on my knees, I can't think straight. It's not that whatsoever. I just wanted to make sure I want to, reiterate on that, this is easy work adding into the day.
No, thanks. And I think that's super important, right? Because like, just piggybacking off of that, if we continue to add stress to our body, that's going to be another deterrent for your body to hold on to fat. We didn't even touch on that. Because a lot of you guys, like, if you're like me, you sleep for 3-4 hours a night and then you go train and, you're trying to sneak in food throughout the day, and then you're dealing with people or work or kids, or, you're just living in 2022, there's some more stress. So if we can decrease the stress, right? That doesn't mean do another intense workout, another high intensity weightlifting session, but do some cardio. Like walking is an amazing tool. Like I've helped people lose 100 pounds just from walking. And I know it could be boring, but make it fun. Gamify it. You got 45 minutes. How far out?
You taught me on protein.
One more time.
Just can I just add something that you taught me on protein that I saw that made a difference? Because
Sure.
I've been doing like tracking like forever, which I pretty much came back to like secondhand. I already like pre-tracked every time. I thought I was doing great with the protein, giving myself 10 out of 10. And then you're like, well, how about you notice that your protein to get 25, 30 grams, you're eating a little bit of cheese, a little bit of egg, a little bit of level one, a little bit of ham, a little bit of this, like have one main source, and then that will help your body also, I guess, process better. Since I changed that, I've noticed like more energy, and it also helps me be fuller, even though it's the same meal like for breakfast that I'm having. It's just more eggs instead of itty bitty pieces of everything else.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
Huge difference. And now I'm working on making sure because I got my protein every day. The number was constant, but now I'm working on every meal, making sure it's 25 to 30 instead of 45 in one, 11 in the other.
Right. Yeah. That whole food source of protein is going to be huge. Versus getting a little bit from cheese and a little bit from yogurt and a little bit from protein, and the protein that's in your bread and the protein that's in your almonds and the protein that's in your peanut butter. It's like, those are all incomplete proteins. Meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, and supplements, what your body's going to recognize as protein. So if you have 25 to 30 grams of that in protein at every meal, that will by itself make a huge difference. Look, that's like protein waffles, protein pancakes, protein cereal, protein boxes, like with cheese and everything. Like they're good if you're in a crunch, or if you want to treat yourself to something that isn't going to be as like detrimental in the long run. However, the majority of the time, meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, and supplements going to help you with that, being anabolic, staying more full, getting your body the nutrients it needs. Katie, you unmuted yourself for a second.
I was gonna reiterate that if you haven't been consistent with the big four for at least 30 days, and you come to your coach and you're like, my scale's not moving, I've hit a plateau. No. If you've been consistent with all those things for over 30 days, and we have been seeing progress in whatever the case is, then we can talk about a plateau. But so many times throughout the week, after I look through assessments and go through people's nutrition, like they're good Monday through Friday, and then the weekends are shit. That is not consistent. You have to be consistent every day. And after that, like Callie is a perfect example. She's been hitting her macros perfectly every single day for the last however long we've been working together. And for the last 2.5 weeks, she's been stuck at the same weight. So we made some adjustments. We added her walks back in. At that point, because I can look back and see how long she's been consistent for, then it's not her nutrition, it's not her consistency, it's just, okay, we got to add more stimulus, we got to add more activity. So make sure you're being consistent for longer than a week or 7 days, 10 days. It's got to be all the days.
All the days. I like that. For sure. No, great point. So we're going to wrap this up and summarize it. If you are not being consistent, we go back to basics. Protein, 1 gram per pound of goal body weight every 2 to 4 hours in a serving size of 25 to 30 grams from a whole source protein, meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, or supplements. If we are doing that, okay, Then, and we're not seeing change, like for Katie said, for an extended period of time, we'll add in movement. Low intensity, steady state cardio. I like 45 minutes, just above conversational pace. You get a nice little layer of sweat on you. And it's not because it's hot outside. And then finally, after that, then we can start to look at taking away calories, because nobody wants us to take away calories. Everybody likes food, right? Right. So as you go forward to the next, 13, 12 and a half days, finish strong, stick to the basics, go get a walk in. It's nice outside. I don't think it's snowing anywhere anymore. I might be wrong, but have some fun with it. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Do you guys have any questions right now? I've got like 5 minutes. What type of protein cereal did you have, Katie? Katie Banks.
It's actually me, sorry.
Oh,
I
you?
did the rice checks with vanilla.
Okay.
I didn't do the store-bought thing because I can't, because it has whey in it. But I just did rice checks with some vegan Power Pro and water and mixed it up. I was like, where has this been all my life?
There you go. Solid.
Next time I'm trying Cheerios though, because those used to be my favorite.
So you see, I would count that as a protein source because you made it yourself. I don't want to confuse people. Like if you go buy a protein cereal in the cereal aisle, look at the protein, it's going to be much lower than what the carbs are. But if
I can't do those.
But if you portion out your rice checks or plain cereal, or I even take a rice cake and crack it up in a bowl because I'm lazy, and I'll shake up my protein with water or almond milk, depending on how many calories I get, and I'll throw that into a bowl with either some powdered peanut butter if I want some more that flavor, or some berries, or an apple diced up, some cinnamon in there, and it's like this delicious bowl of protein cereal where you're getting the protein from a high quality supplement, and then you're getting the carbs in, or fats, if that's what you go and do that. So yeah, if you want to make it yourself, that's a huge win. It's easy. That's like, I call it like my bachelor meal 101, my college kid meal, because it takes 2 seconds to make. It's really, really delicious. There you go, Callie. Throw that CTC on there. It's like you get like Cinnamon Toast Crunch without the guilt. All right. Any other questions right now? Nothing? Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out. Let's go take action on all this. Katie, Eric, thanks as always. Everybody who was chatting in and talking, thank you so much for asking questions, commenting in the chat box. And we'll be back doing this all over again tomorrow night. So we'll talk with you then. See you guys. Thanks so much.